This is me. And I'm going to spend 100 days in hardcore Minecraft going from this to this. But will I reach day 100 conquering Minecraft, or was it just impossible to begin with? This is my new hardcore series, and let's get started. You see, the most difficult part of a hardcore world is getting started. My first priority is getting enough protection to nullify damage, and that means getting full prot 4 diamond armor. To start off, I immediately went to the desert village, getting hay bales for food. After that, I found some cows on the other side, and I led them to the village, for some good food supply. Then I got some wood and stone, standard Minecraft procedures, and went to the big cave. Now, this mine is really huge, but even more so, it's dangerous. So dangerous in fact that I lost the world like 10 times because of this place. But this time, I had a plan. I made a quota of 2 stacks of iron, 2 stacks of redstone, and 3 diamonds for a pickaxe. This is so after I finished it, I can force myself to leave the cave in one piece. After mining a whole day, I went back to the village to set up my new home, where I became a feudal lord. Then for the next few days, I've been preparing many things, but most importantly, I've been preparing enchanted books. Efficiency, mending, breaking, and most importantly, fortune. You see, when mining diamond ore with a fortune 3 pickaxe, there's a 60% chance of that drop being an equal 2, 3, or 4 diamonds. So if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to get more than 20 diamonds in an 8 vein. And with efficiency and unbreaking, that will just make finding diamonds much faster. And as for mending, it's just a good enchant to have down the road. It took a long while, but on day 12, I finally managed to get full diamond gear. And yes, even a hoe. Although the protection enchant is very overpowered, like I said earlier, iron supplies are pretty high, not gonna lie. But this is not enough we will use in the 100 days. So, I took a small detour to make an iron farm. This is the Waddle Iron Farm, made by Waddles. The basics is that villagers are so scared by the zombie that they spawn an iron golem, but we manipulated the spawning mechanics so that the iron golem spawns on top of them on flowing water which carries it into lava,
where its corpse is extracted to make numerous items or even deadlier farms.
Nice. Eventually, I was able to buy my way into prot 4 armor, finally ending the hard part. Step 2 of this plan is a garden XP farm. However, this requires an ocean monument, because that's where the guardians spawn. Fortunately, the seed I chose has a really close ocean monument. Well, close enough. After collecting all of the materials I needed, I headed to the monument. Now, the monument itself has a very puzzling maze, but I have a plan. And the plan is to practice all night to speedrun on killing the 3 Elder Guardians, and I just used TNT. But the bosses were no laughing matter, as their thorns make it much harder and they're dead. However, all the other guardians made the journey much harder to do all of these, with their beams making it very risky to stand still. From this, I almost actually died. But that doesn't matter now. What does matter now is the XP farm. Okay, let's cue the time lapse. Now that it's done, you're probably wondering now, how does this work? Is while AFKing on the high place, guardians will spawn in chunks on the soul sand just to float to the top, and teleport to the nether portals. Then an eagle clock opens and closest to gates in the nether for 15 seconds. Then, they get teleported to another nether portal for the player to get the stuff in an almost safe farming environment. Okay, the build is complete. Well, that sells this part 2, right? Although this is a reasonable source of XP, it wasn't meeting expectations. Then I looked down at the portals and realized that they were misplaced, not being on the edge, but the center of the monument. How did I not notice this? So this means that I have to farm the soul sand and scaffolding again. Although in normal hardcore circumstances it's not that hard since the materials are very accessible, but I'm also currently running out of time due to it being a 100-day challenge, so that probably isn't going to be an option. But as I saw many guardians entering the portal, I realized the reason why the drops were so low. Wait, I left a portal open. You see, if there are multiple nether portals close to each other in the opposite dimension, priority is on the lower Y level portal. As the one for the farm was above the bedrock, that means I forgot to turn off a portal below. I checked, and wouldn't you know it, some mechanical fish and a lit portal. I broke the portal and the rates were up. I fixed my armor, enchanted it, my gear, and I'm finally ready to mine netherite. Okay, you're asking why I need netherite before beating the end. It's simple. They both need gunpowder. You see, in the modded End Island, there is a material that is much better than netherite called ametry. Problem is that the islands are located at a minimum of Y200, so an elytra would be very helpful. But to use said elytra, you'll need fireworks, which requires gunpowder. Now, for netherite, it's very blast resistant. The best way to farm it is by making a tunnel and blowing it up. There are two main ways to do that, either with beds or with TNT. And guess which one has gunpowder? I wonder which one of these use gunpowder. Okay, I get your point, but where are you going to get the gunpowder? Well, funny you ask. Introducing the scaffolding mob farm. Genius as it is, I needed a lot of scaffolding. The bamboo is not an issue as you can see, but what is an issue is string. The string farms I built aren't remotely efficient, and for the max capacity big farm, I need 9 stacks of string. But Art, I hear you saying, can't you just make a temporary group and farm string that way? Okay, so clearly farming with spawners isn't enough. So there's only one way to get a large amount of string. Cobwebs. If you didn't know, mine shafts already have a large amount of webs scattered around the place. But what I'm interested in is the one near the cave spider spawner. I mean, just look at it. It has like stacks of cobweb. But the question is there enough mine shafts for 9 stacks of string? Well, funny you ask. Now I'm ready to build. Since scaffolding is like placing blocks in bedrock condition, this farm was very quick to complete. And the mod drops in 2 days, well, they speak for themselves. With enough netherite, I was able to upgrade all my equipment. And that ends part 2. And how many days are left? Oh! In this part of the video, I'm on day 85 and only have 15 days left to defeat 2 bosses, get an elytra, and a full beacon. Now, let's start off with the Ender Dragon. For me, it's easy to get the Blaze Rod since I already have some stored up. But the Ender Pearls, not so much. You see, in speedrunning Minecraft, bastions are essential as you be guaranteed a ton of ender pearls, and don't have to rely much on RNG. On the seed map, you can find 15 bastions in a 1000 block radius from my original nether portal. Okay, so here we go, on our first bastion, and well, the seed map isn't always correct when it's modded, so let's try this another war. Well, third time's the charm. That's right, every single bastion in the south was actually a fortress. I'm not making this up. So I wasted 2 days in the nether to find a bastion because my GPS keeps on leading to the wrong place. Well, at least I got Penderite, which is an upgrade on netherite. So I decided to trade instead of barter for pearls. Each Master Cleric has a 2/3 chance to trade Ender Pearls, making it a reliable way to get Ender Pearls. The only catch is they're expensive. So I set out my way to the stronghold. So my preparations are almost complete, and it's time to enter the end. Instead of wasting more eyes, I decided to not learn my mess and blindly kept running and guess what? It wasn't actually exactly on the coordinates. Anyway, so with 2 eyes already on there, which is actually a 1% chance, look at that. I went to the portal to defeat the Ender Dragon. Okay, outside the music, not gonna lie, the fight was really boring. Whether at this point, fighting the dragon isn't even hard anymore. But what instead is hard is traversing the End Islands. Well, it isn't hard per se, just stressful. Extremely stressful. So after going through many islands, I made it to the End City, and what do you know, it has a ship. Finally. After farming many shulkers and even more stressful bridging, I finally got an elytra. But while celebrating my newfound ability to fly, I realized, just like Icarus, that it won't last that long. I had to be very careful that I don't use my elytra too often. And if I do, yeah. So I just kept running and searching the sky for some red islands. Where the heck are these islands? Yeah, this is gonna be a lot harder than I expected. I was getting nervous. Although I was searching the islands in 10 minutes, but with 7 more days until the countdown ends, I was getting desperate. So I had to use my elytra. It might be nowhere near here, but I'll take the chance. Okay, lo and behold, here are the Ametrine Islands. The plan here is to mine enough of these pink stones to get 3 stacks of ametrine blocks. Now, why 3 stacks? Well, of course you know. After finally reinvigorating my fear of heights, I was finally able to go home with 3 stacks of ametrine blocks that I use for my armor. But I didn't stay home for long, because it's time to go to hell. Why? The farm wither skeletons, of course, which I will use to fight the wither. The wither. It's the hardest boss in the game. Once you kill it, you will receive the Nether Star. The key ingredient, the 100-day goal, a max ametrine beacon. This is it. Final barrier to victory. All I need is to reunite the soul and the skull. Turns out my texture pack actually turns a wither into a bee wither. And you know that thing means? Well, that was easy. And to top everything up, boom, a max beacon. And on day 100, to put the cherry on top, I got my elytra to have Unbreaking 3 and Mending, making it more durable and repairable. So yeah, that's 100 days in hardcore Minecraft, and although I didn't get every enchantment, I can truly say that I'm proud of this world.